So we did a little demonstration of servo motors, and now we're going to make a system that follows the blob on the screen back and forth using the servo motor. And what we're going to do for that is first we're going to let's see. We already did that. We already did that. We already did that. Okay, great. We are going to create a noise chop. And we're going to go to common and time slice the noise chop. And let's see. And we're going to use that to make it move. And so then coming out of this, go to a math. And we're going to range this. And say from range 0 to 1. Actually, it goes from -1 to 1. -1 to 1. And we're going to have a 2 range of -2 to 2. So I guess I could have just multiplied it by 2, actually. Whatever. Okay, and then we're going to, on this sphere here, so coming out of the math object, go to a null. And we're going to reference this null in the sphere. I believe. Oh, you know what? We have to add a. Insert an operator in between the sphere and the noise. And it should be a transform. And we're going to translate. We're going to reference the x coordinate on this translate. So here under translate, tx, go to this, and it's going to be op, open parenthesis, single quote, null 3, single quote, close parenthesis, open bracket, chan 1, whoops, sorry, single quote, chan 1, single quote, close bracket. And the blob should start jumping back and forth across the screen.
Where does this go?
Where does what go? Your transform. It goes in transform,
Yeah, no,
translate.
What does it touch to?
To null 3,
Okay.
coming out of the math 3, coming out of the noise 3.
Gotcha. And what was it? Up null 3,
Chan 1, op null 3, chan 1. Make sure you put in your single brackets. Okay. Now let's make this sphere a little bit smaller so that it's not so huge. Where it says radius 111, let's make it like 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. That changes the it changes the way that the noise works, but I don't care for now. It doesn't matter. As far as like with a smaller radius, the amount of warping you get is exaggerated, right? So we could go in here on our noise and adjust this a little bit. Let's see where it says amplitude. We could say, you know, times 0.25 to make it the same, times 0.25. And on the transform, actually you can leave the transform alone. That won't matter. It's just the amplitude that we need to adjust. Okay, so your thing should be darting back and forth across the screen. Yeah? What did you're still working on this transform? Look, here's the here's the thing. Op null 3 chan 1. You're just referencing that noise channel.
I got this. Is not enough sources specified.
On what? What are you using? You inserted a transform?
Yeah. Yeah, it's already.
Yeah. What's coming out of that? Delete it for a second. Okay. Connect that back to the noise. Okay. Insert an operator. No. Right click and insert an operator. And choose transform. There you go. Okay, let's slow it down a little bit because this is crazy fast. So on the noise 3 down here, what we're actually using to adjust this position, go to where it says noise, the noise tab, and period, I believe. Pull that up to something like 4. Yeah, about 4 is fine. Okay. So now we have this thing, and it's going back and forth across the screen. And so now we need to send that third value to our Arduino. And I believe we have this merge somewhere. Let's see, where is it? We have a DAT2, a select, speed. Where are we sending this out? I can't remember. We should have a merge somewhere. Is this not the right? This is not the right thing. I have the wrong file open because this one doesn't have a button. Yours has buttons, right? Yeah, I just have the wrong. All right, hold on. Let me copy this so I don't have to do it again. And what is this? Oh, this is class 10. Maybe it was Ultimate Blobby Sphere 3. Is that what you guys called yours?
Ultimate Blobby Sphere.
Yeah, okay, that's why. All right, so just quit. I had the wrong file open. Oh boy, my battery's about to die. All right, there should be a merge where you're merging the different data coming in from that LFO and the button somewhere in your patch. All right, so yeah, there, merge 1. God, I thought I was losing my mind. All right, so sphere, I changed this to 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, and on my noise here, I took this, not the translate, but the amplitude, and I multiplied that by 0.25 as well. All right, and then I have on the spheres, oh, I have to add a transform, insert operator transform, and on the X translate, I am sorry, I have to catch back up because I had the wrong thing open. Op null for chan 1. There we go. Okay, so we got this thing now, and we are going to we're gonna add a channel to this merge, and we need to map it though to what the Arduino is going to expect, and the Arduino is going to expect a 0 to 180 value. So we are going to map this value, add another math chop. And now we have a range that goes from -2 to +2. coming off of this, and we're going to make a new range that goes from -2 to +2 and maps that to, on my screen, and this might be slightly different depending on the size of your screen, but mine was about 135 to 25 because it needed also to be backwards. 135 degrees to about 25 degrees. Okay, so I need to hook that up to that. There we go. And also on this, you want to set it to be integers. So where it says integer off, say integer either ceiling or floor or round, it doesn't really matter. One of those. So it creates an integer value instead of a floating point. And then add this to the merge. And so now you have a third channel that's going to be going into the chop 2 and into the convert and into the eval and all that jazz. And now if you turn on your serial, it should start going. Mine doesn't. Why? Is yours moving really fast, Scott?
Yeah.
So just adjust the, is your sphere moving fast too? So just adjust the, on your noise here, adjust the period to something like 4. Why mine's not working? I think I have the wrong modem. There we go. Huh, what's wrong? I think something in the code is wrong. In the Arduino code is wrong because your light's not turning on either, is it? Or no, yours is. Is yours, and yours is working, right? You can hear it moving?
Yes.
All right, so mine's just not working for some reason. Well, I don't want to spend too much time on this because I don't want to spend time debugging mine because I got to debug your guys's. That's weird. What's my error code? Warnings. This bytes 1 per byte append. Something's wrong with this. There we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. Mine's working now. So if you hold this up to your screen, if you can get your Arduino close enough, you should be able to make it point at the sphere, and when the sphere moves to the side, the motor will follow it. So what's wrong with yours, Fabiola? Your lights aren't flashing either, so it's not communicating right. What's going on with your serial? Oh, boy. What do we got? You have the merge in there, and the merge is getting fed by what? This math, this doesn't look right. So you don't have this turned to time slice. So that's the first thing that's wrong. And that looks right. But this isn't connected because something's not connected to your serial stuff. So you're missing code from before, right? You didn't have this working the last time we were doing it? Okay, well that's good. All right. Okay. Well, I don't want to spend the entire class getting you guys caught up to where we should have been already. So, for those of you who had working patches the last time we did this, this should work. Is yours working now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for the other two of you guys, if you want, we can spend time doing that for the rest of class, or we can work on your finals. But I think we should switch now to your finals. Okay? Great. And I would really like to see a working version of this on your blogs if you want to get credit for the homework and stuff for this, for last week. And actually 2 weeks ago and stuff, right? So try to get this working. Yeah. Hmm?
this?
No, you don't need to put this on the blog. For those two who didn't have the code working, I need to see that code working on your blogs if you want credit for that homework assignment, right? So get that working. You don't have to get the motor part working. That was just for today. But you should be able to at least have the part of the Arduino working where you can hit the button and it makes the thing change colors, where you can change the potentiometer and it slows down the warp, and you can cover the LDR and it changes the amplitude of the warping of it. Okay? So really there's something, you guys both missed something, I believe, in your serial, there's a chop exec over here where we are, which one is it? You're missing something where you're actually sending the value to the serial, and where is that? It's over here somewhere. It's going to be in a chop exec somewhere. Chop to convert, eval, convert. Oh, and that's getting sent over. Here it is, dat exec. You should have a dat exec in here. That's referencing op serial. That's referencing this convert, and this convert should be creating a forward, like a, what is that? A less than signal, then 3 values separated by commas, and then that gets sent to your dat exec. And the dat exec is on table change, and it has the and then it has this string in it: op serial 1 dot send string op convert 3 with the terminator greater than, right? So this is referencing this convert 3, which is over here. Is that constant 3? Convert 3. Where's my convert 3? I don't know. I can't find it. How do I do a find? Control F? Find. Oh, there's a little table. Convert 3. Oh, that's going to be the thing that's, this is convert 3. So this is, yeah, so it's referencing this value, which you should be able to, through the, so you have the data coming into a merge, coming from these LFO and the button, this button here, right? And that goes into, that merges into this, and we've also added now the random movement as a third channel. That gets sent to a chop2 to convert it to a table. So it'll have values 0, 1, and 2. That gets converted from table to text with concatenated with a comma. That's where the comma gets added in. Then we use this eval to say add the open, or that open character, which is the less than. So it says single quote less than single quote plus me dot input cell. That's how that gets generated. And so then it creates that, and then we convert it back into a table with a third convert. Right? So this is the expression that you need on the evaluate. And then it gets converted back into a table, and that table gets referenced here in this dat execute with this line of code that sends a string of the convert 3's referenced a table value of 0, 0 with the terminator close message, which is that greater than symbol, because that's what we used in our Arduino code to split that out. Okay? All right, I'm going to walk around and help you guys. We have another hour in class to work on your final. I would like to see you working on something. I do not want to see you doing email or Pinterest or whatever. Okay, you need to be working on your TouchDesigner while you're in here. I'm going to leave at about 2. How long am I supposed to give you guys for evaluations?
10 minutes.
All right, so I'm going to leave at 2:50. No, that's when class is supposed to end. I'm going to leave at 2:40 and give you the last 10 minutes to do evaluations for this class. Okay? And then we're meeting here next week at 1 for your final. Okay? And please, if you're having problems, text me, email me. If I don't answer, email me twice and text me and get help. And Shay will be around as well. So, yeah, don't just show up on the last day and say I couldn't make it work, because it needs to work on your final day. Okay? Great. All right. Is there something anybody want to see anything on this blobby sphere patch? No? Yeah, you are. Yeah. No, you're not. You're never done. We're never done with blobby spheres. There's so much you can do with blobby spheres. All right. So what are you working on? All right. So all right, you can get rid of the if x value, because that's what you're reading, right?
Yeah.
So you should just be able to have not equal and is greater than 1. Wait, why would it be greater than 1? It only ever makes a 1 or a 0.
X value is less than 1.
Oh, less than 1. Wait, it's either going to be a 0 or 1, so that's never going to do anything.
No, it's not.
If it's not 0...
It's a bunch of variables.
Oh, okay. I thought you were referencing something that was a button.
Oh, no. The button is here, and that's just turning it on. This is like testing to make sure you're getting the gesture correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, is that working?
Um,
You wanted it to do something. I thought it was a button that you were working with.
Oh, yeah, the button is over. Well, this is the button to pass the gesture.
Okay.
So then, like, I don't know what this gesture is.
All right, so where is the value for coming in? That constant 1, how is that getting generated?
The constant one? Oh, that's when you click cast. When you click this button, the constant one is triggered.
And isn't that where you're triggering a video?
No, well, yeah, the video is supposed to be triggered after you get the gesture correctly. So this code here is checking to see if you get the gesture correct, and if you get it correct, then it should trigger the video.
I see.
Yeah. So if the value stays under 1, then like clearly you're not doing it that wrong.
Yes. So then maybe I don't know whether
1 is too high of a number.
Whether you wanted on to off or not. That was I thought you were just triggering based on a button.
Oh no. Right now, that's essentially what it's doing, because it's very hard to get it that wrong. But yeah, I'm testing to see if it will trigger once I release the button. Because it should be correct no matter what at this point.
Okay, great. So
let's see, on to off. This is off. Okay, so.
But when you're doing from on to off, you should be referencing that constant 1, right? Not expression 2.
That constant 1. Well, expression 2 is the same thing as constant 1. So, express 2. Oh, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't do that.
And what I mean is, on the on to off, instead, so where you're referencing this chop, you're referencing express 2. It should be referencing constant 1 instead.
Okay.
And then when it goes from on to off, that's when it does its thing. Okay, and then I don't know about your cast. What's the cast do? That's when you let go? Okay. All right, so is it not doing anything?
It's not playing.
Okay. There you go. Now what happens? Go ahead and touch it.
After you read it, so the code.
Oh, how do you have it playing? How do you have it triggering the video now?
It changes this from 0 to 1.
The reload?
Yeah, but I don't have code to change it back to 0 yet.
Okay, so what you can do actually is instead of changing it to 0 to 1, you can use the pulse command.
Okay.
So go back to the video for a second. The video, yeah. So you see reload pulse. So click on the reload pulse button there. See the button there? When you click that, it plays it, right?
Yeah.
So where you're triggering in your code, instead of sending the reload a 1, you reference instead reload, you reference reload pulse. Open parenthesis, close parenthesis. And then it should actually pulse the reload.
Okay.
Try it now. Oh, turn reload on, I guess. I don't know. All right, try it again. So I don't know whether it's doing, put a print message in there so we can see whether it's actually doing something. So underneath where it's pulsing that, put print spellcast. And now if you open the terminal, you should be able to check to see, I'm sorry, that you do like Command T, I think. Control Command T, isn't it Command T? How do you get to the terminal today? The text, the text thing? W?
If you do, I mean, just go to.
I can't remember. How do you open the text terminal?
Export.
Textport.
Export in that. Okay, I have it open.
Option T. That was Command T. It's Option T. All right. So now you should see when it triggers. If it okay, so something's not actually triggering because it would have printed that.
Yeah.
So let's look at what your thing is. So your say is x value is greater than 0 and x value is less than 1. It does not equal 0 and is less than 1. Okay, so that's basically greater than 0 and less than 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So you could say greater than 0. You don't even need the and. You could just say greater than 0, less than 1.
Oh, I can do that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool.
All right. And all right, let's try that. Okay. And is this even triggering? Let's see. The chop exec 3 set to active. It's on to off. Your code, is it in the on to off section of the code in your chop exec 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, define on to off, that's right. Okay. Put another print above this, above the if statement that says something. So we can see if it's trying to do something. Yeah, sure. Okay, so it's definitely running that, but it's not, the if statement isn't being, is either, no, the if statement, because otherwise it would have said spellcast, so the if statement is not being satisfied.
Okay.
So why?
Well,
Op is it op express to x, and when you have an x, what happens when you click it? You do have a value, and it is greater than 0, right? Yeah. Okay, so that should work. Why is it not? And what is this? What's this channel that says cast? What does that do?
That's it's just it came in because it died. I didn't not have it there.
Oh, that's the push.
Yeah, it's the push.
So you're just what this constant is just getting fed by that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so that constant is extraneous, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay. It should do something. Oh, is it turned on? Go into your parameters for chop. No, it is because it was printing that thing and it wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah.
It's printing that message print. You don't have any errors.
Is it?
Yeah, take that out for a second. See if it works. No, it's not doing anything.
There's like it was working before. Didn't that happen?
Maybe. But we know it's not even running anything in that if statement. It's not that your op par reload pulse isn't working. It's not doing that because otherwise it would have printed spell cast.
Okay.
Right?
What if we got rid of the if statement?
But then it will just do it on everything. Yeah, it'll do it every time there's an on to off. You have a tab error. Does that have to be? See, you have to have those tabs. All right. So now it should just do it. Okay, what's it say? TV par.object is not callable. That's that. Okay, so maybe we did have something. Pretty sure that's the way you get it to play. To get it to reload. What does it say now?
What do we?
Says make sure corresponding tag toggle is turned on. So, okay, click on the chop exec. Give me the parameters, not the errors. I want to see the parameters of chop exec.
Different up.
Okay, it's off to on. You have an on to off, that's right, okay. Active on, yeah. It's pointing to constant 1. Okay. And yeah, that should do it. I don't know why you have an error there. Try. Well, that's what it'll go to, but I don't know why you have an error on this. Delete it and undo your deletion. Just to reload that object. Alright, try running it again and see if you get the error again. Okay, so I don't know why you had an error. You shouldn't have had an error.
Okay.
Alright, so now let's try changing that to reload pulse instead of just reload. Equals 1. Open, close. Yeah, try it again. Okay, so it doesn't like that reload pulse, and I'm wondering if we just have the thing. Go to the movie thing, and go click on the second question mark, the one with the blue and the yellow behind it.
Yeah.
To open up the help for Python, and scroll down. And this is where we can figure out what we're supposed to type, what the code is supposed to be. And there should be something about reload pulse. Type in reload pulse. Nope. Well, what the heck? Obviously, that's the way you do it. Let me try it on mine. File, new. All right, movie file in. And I need to choose an actual movie. .mov. Sure, worms. All right, how about that one? There we go. All right, so I am having a dat, chop execute dat. I'm going to control that by a constant. And this is constant 1. And from on to off. And from on to off. And this, we want this to not be looping. How do you turn off loop? Don't you have yours not looping, right?
Oh yeah, it's in trim.
Trim.
Black. You change it from circle to black.
Okay. Okay. So reload starts it over. Okay, great. So I'm going to say op. Let me reload this. I'm just going to call it spell. Spell dot par dot. Oh, you know what I think it is? Dot reload. Dot reload. Yeah. Pulse. Nope, that's not right. I've done this before. I think we did it in the slot machine with sound.
Yeah, I can go back and find it. I'm like less concerned about that. I'm just more concerned about the statement not working at all.
All right, hold on. So yeah, I don't know why your if statement doesn't work. It should. I feel like it's not referencing the value correctly.
If off expressed to channel X is less than 0.
Okay, wait. So, oh, did we say reload pulse?
Pulse now.
All right, so go
Reload.
par.reload pulse open close parenthesis. That's what it is. Yeah. Whoops, you got it. No, you don't. Sure. Yeah, that should work. Now try that. That should reload the video. Yeah, there we go. Okay, great. So now, what's wrong with your if? Put your if statements back in there. X value, which is expressed to channel X, which is looks like it's right. Yeah. Valve expressed to called channel X is greater than 0. Okay. Yeah. Because when you let go,
Yeah.
X is 0. Because we have a catch-22 situation. You're telling it to not look at X until you let go. As soon as you let go, X goes to 0.
Yeah.
See what happens? Look at the X, touch it, and then let go. See, it goes to 0. So it's never greater than 0.
Yeah.
That's why it's not triggering.
So how do I trigger it?
Let's see. You can.
When it's done.
Right. So you need to keep those values instead of. Wait a second. Okay. So what? How is this expression? What is this expression doing?
If is comparing the absolute value of the input from my phone to that of the gesture and subtracting it. So if it's so we can see like the difference between what they're doing versus what the gesture actually is.
Okay. So why does it change to 0 when you let go? Because the gesture is at 0 and it's at 0.
Because
your gesture is always 0, and when you let go.
Well, maybe the gesture's not working really.
So I just don't know why your X, because look, your X still has values here, it has values here.
Yeah.
So something in your expression is causing it to go to 0 when you let go. So what is that?
Oh, what's causing it to go to 0 when I let go of it? I think that's in here. Press equals 1. Yeah, I was trying to.
Where you define cast? Oh, OSC input push 1. Gesture 1. What's gesture 1? Oh, because you're resetting the gesture.
Yeah.
Okay, so you reset the 0. You reset the gesture when the button is released.
Oh yeah, it's literally just attached to that. That's how it's doing.
Right. And okay. So yeah, you've set up a situation where that has crashed down to 0 when you let go, and when you let go is when you're evaluating it. So you have to figure out and set up a complicated system that's a little bit tough for me to suss out.
Is there a better way to do it?
I don't know. I don't know what you're doing because I need to understand all the steps involved, really, I guess. So what's the first thing coming in from the OSC, and what is this doing?
That is setting the gesture to 1 or 0.
Based on
whether I'm pushing the button or not.
Okay, so cast is equal to 1.
Which means if I'm hitting it.
Then reset. No, then turn off the reset.
Yeah, so it runs.
Okay, and then when you let go, it turns the reset back on.
So,
And whoops, sorry, I hit the wrong button on this.
so I'm pressing it, so it's loading the gesture. And if I stop, then it stops loading the gesture.
Okay.
Oh, on.
So wait a second. Stop location. Sorry. Oh, so it just keeps.
Yeah, because it's controlled better.
Right. Hold it down for a minute. All right. So pulsing it makes it. So what are you trying to do
What am I trying to do by
when you
pulsing?
when you let go of it?
It's like you're casting the spell. So it's like copying the feedback from yours to this and then comparing it and stuff.
Okay. So when you let go of the button, why are you resetting this?
So this way if you wanted to pass
Because
it
when
again.
you reset it, when you reset it, it starts it over, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why are you restarting it over when you let go?
I figured if you wanted to pass the spell again, then you could start from the beginning. I mean, it doesn't have to.
Right. So I'm wondering if instead of doing this 0 and 1 business, you shouldn't use the pulse feature. So you have the same kind of reset pulse dot pulse open close parentheses when it equals 0.
Yeah, but then it keeps looping.
Okay.
The thing is, like, it keeps looping over and over and over
Right.
again.
Yeah.
Unless, like, this is on.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. All right. So what I'm trying to establish is why, when you let go, the results, and what does this expression do?
So
This
it
expression
takes,
is telling you how close it is to what you have recorded.
yes.
So let's rename it something. You reference this expression somewhere else?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you could leave it alone, or you could. Next time, it would be probably better if you like named that expression something that made sense, like difference or something like that.
Okay.
So that way you can keep it in your head what it's doing. But all right, so I'm still a little unclear why this is going to 0 when you let it go.
I think.
And I think it has to do with that being reset or something.
Oh, yeah, right. I understand. So the constant. So it's times by constant 1.
So you're multiplying it by constant 1. So there you go. The constant 1 is changing to 0, so everything crashes down to 0.
Mm-hmm.
So,
If I got rid
and then you're telling it to only do stuff when it's above 0.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're multiplying it by constant 1, when? I mean, when do you want it to multiply by constant 1? Because right now, I would think when you're evaluating the expression,
Mm-hmm.
you want constant 1 to be 1. Or
Yeah.
when you were doing this chop exec, you want constant 1 to be 1.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe you're just doing that backwards.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that right? So when does constant 1 change to 1?
So when I press this.
Okay. But when you press it is not when you're doing the evaluation, right?
Right. It's when it's finished.
So you're doing it backwards, basically.
Okay.
So change the code that sets this to 1 so that it sets it to 1 when you let go, not when you push.
Okay. I'll have to write that. Because right now it's just connected straight to the top.
Okay. Well, you can say 1 minus this. So how do you set this value?
It's literally.
So change it from that to an expression. And you're going to that, right? Yeah. Relative, and say 1 minus that value. Put it in parentheses. Yeah, exactly. And now that should make it the opposite. And when you push it, does it go to 0?
Yeah.
And then when you let go, it goes to 0, 1. All right, so now at least you get it to trigger. It's not triggering when you want. So what we want to do here is actually, instead of referencing constant 1 on the chop exec 3 as the chop you want to look at,
Mm-hmm.
instead let's see, you probably reference this over here in the push 1 value, right? So, or actually you could reference the rename
Yeah.
and the cast channel,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's from on to off yeah, so rename, and then it's called cast. Yeah. And now you should be able to keep the rest the same.
Okay, but I don't reference the cast anymore. I don't reference the cast anymore.
So this is just,
If the
sorry,
value
go into the preferences for the chop exec 3, the parameters, and instead of looking at constant 1, you're looking at rename 1 and cast. Rename 1, channel cast, yeah. Okay, so I don't know, what did you do here? This was wrong when we changed that value, that's right, I got confused. What was that before? What were you looking at on the cast?
I was looking at constant 1.
Yeah, so change that to constant 1.
But I'm just saying that this isn't referenced anywhere in this code right now. Like, there's no cast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, checking with everyone else.
Yeah, I'll let you.
Yeah.
I think you're close though.
Yeah.
So what are you working on?
Say something.
Okay, great.
I still have some music.
Okay, great. And so far you just have the one visualization style. You're going to add a couple others.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want this for
Okay, great. And then do you have like tutorials on how to do that?
yeah, it's really ugly, so I want to make it easier.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then just make sure though, if you're doing it from tutorials or that you're doing it from code that you're pulling, that you know what is happening, because I'm going to ask you how this works. You have to be able to tell me. Okay. Do you have any questions for me right now?
Now there's one person.
Okay.
This one.
What,
Oh.
is this the blobby sphere thing we were doing earlier? Okay, so what's going on? All right, so what's the error, first of all? Cannot find function named on value change project 1 chop exec 1. Cannot find function. All right, so constant 1, value 0, TDU, and that's time about frame outputs, right? Wait, so it says it cannot find function name. Oh, do you have on value change still turned on this? That's why. Click on this, go to the parameters. So you have it on value change turned on. Turn that off. Off, because you're not using that, and you erased the code for it. So I don't, just to reset that thing, just delete it and then undo your deletion.
Delete it.
Yeah, just delete it and then undo. There we go.
Oh,
Okay. And is that working now? Yeah, you got it. Yeah. So the only thing that happened was it was trying to run code that you had deleted because I told you to delete it, but you had this still turned on value chain and you weren't using that anymore. All right. So is there anything else on this that you don't know what's going on? Did you do the Arduino, the motor part? Yeah, I mean, did you do the motor part in here? Let's see. Is it working? Doesn't look like it. All right, so let's see. Do you have zoom in over here, over there. Scroll it that way. All right, so that's the value, right? Click on that math. Let me look at the parameters. Go to range. Okay, 0 to 1. So I believe that's going from. It should be going from -2 to +2. But go down to where the noise. Where's the noise that's making it move? Okay, and the math on this noise. What's the range on this? Oh, 0. So that you didn't change anything. That's not changing anything. So change this from. I believe actually click on the noise. I believe this goes negative. Doesn't it go negative? It does. Okay. So in this math, change that from 0 to 1 to, change the from range to -1 to +1, and the to range to -2 to +2. There we go. Now it'll move further. All right, and now let's see. Why aren't we communicating with your Arduino? This thing. It's probably. So scroll up. Okay. Let's see. You have it going into the merge. Let's see. It's in the merge. All right. So there's that third channel. It's definitely sending. And wait, but why isn't your one light should be flashing?
Yeah.
Right? That should be flashing, and it's not. Let's see.
How do I pull
Wait, does the button work? Click the button off.
for this particular one that I
Alright,
want?
so that's
Okay,
working.
what do you want to do?
So I have this thing
Alright,
set up
so
where I
this-
have this gesture.
I don't know.
Okay.
And that's
And it's
recorded
set to
here.
12.
Okay.
So when I press the button, it starts firing.
Okay.
LED
And
pin, that's
then
right. That's
it's
right.
taking this in to see
I think
what the
you're
difference between what I'm
receiving
doing
it.
and what the spell is supposed to be, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Right?
No, but
No.
I don't really understand what the difference between what and what.
So this is like the spell that you're supposed to do.
Okay.
This is what you're actually doing.
Okay.
Okay, so
And then
coming
this
out
is
of this
comparing
merge,
the two
okay,
to
it's
see how
going to
close
that
they are.
chop tube.
Okay.
By subtracting it. So
okay,
if, like,
I see
What
the
is
problem
the spell? Like moving?
You haven't
moving
created the
this
code
is still going to
correctly
sell
yet.
longer.
So
Oh,
this should
okay,
be,
yep, great,
this convert
gotcha.
should
Okay.
be concatenated,
So
concatenated
it casts
with
the spell
with
if
commas.
like you're able
Which
to
one
do it
convert
within
to?
like a certain range,
Parameters?
right? Because it's
Mhm.
And where
comparing
do you
the
have
two
it?
here.
The
So let's
tabs,
say you do
change
it
that to a
and
comma.
the number doesn't go over one, right?
Tab,
Okay.
change that to a comma.
So like if it's 0,
Delete it.
that means you're doing it like completely
Delete,
correct,
push a
right?
comma.
Okay.
Because there's no difference between the
Yep.
two.
Okay.
So you don't want it to
Yep,
go over a
let go.
certain
There
range.
you go.
Okay.
But the problem
All right,
that I
now,
have is like
in
I
there.
think it's only
now
looking at
your,
like
your
the
LED,
last
your
number before I
motor
turn it
came to
off.
life,
So if like the last number
but
Mm-hmm.
the
equals
flashing thing's still
just,
not
like,
flashing.
is within the range
Wait,
that I
you scroll in
deem
again.
acceptable, then it
I
will
don't
go
see, oh no,
on.
it is,
So even if
it's
you do the first
flashing,
part like
but
super long,
your
let's say you want to
LED
do
just
a
isn't
Z
flashing now.
like this, and they do it like
so go back
but
over
it
to the
ends
stat
on the
exec
same
one.
sort
Just
of
make
note,
sure,
then the
Mhm.
spell will
no,
trigger.
that string,
So I
yeah.
guess I'm wondering if there's a way to like determine
that should
within like
be
the time period that they're
right.
casting the spell
Well,
if it's correct. Does
you
that
might
make sense?
be missing
Not really.
a,
So right
you
now
might be
you
missing
got
a,
this guy, and he's
parenthesis.
just feeding information from his
Let me, this is
right?
not the right
Yeah.
code. Let me.
This
Well, sorry.
this one moves when you accelerate.
No,
Okay.
this is on its own thing. It just like it's a pre-recorded thing that only goes when you
this
press
one
the button.
is.
Yeah. So if you stop pressing that, it would stop going, and it would reset to 0.
Okay, so this is like an animation, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. And you want to test this.
Scott, do you
at
have any
all
questions
times,
for me?
Yes.
Right.
I figured out the control change, but it's still not putting it into this one.
Really?
And you think it's only
Look,
looking.
instead of typing like CTRL.
No, you're right. Really? What?
Instead of typing CTRL, it's just C.
It's just what?
It's just C.
Just C?
The channel is C.
Oh, this isn't.
But it's still not getting to your synth. But when you send it,
See, when it was
There's
the-
one an X right now.
do you have any other program that can read MIDI commands internally in your computer? Like, do you have Macs?
Okay. Explain me the
No.
issue again. I think
Do you have
just
Isadora or anything like that? No?
and I'll ask
Okay.
more questions. Okay.
No, that looks like it's right. I mean,
So-
it's working. I'm wondering if just
This
your
is
LED
something that
is
you
burned
have to
out or
do.
not wired correctly.
Yes.
And, yeah.
This is determining if you're doing it.
Okay.
It's only seeing like
Did
when
you,
I
did you
press
try
off,
turning it around? It might be
if, like,
backwards.
if like this number equals this number.
Because
then
everything
it's
else
like,
is
yeah, you
working.
got it.
Okay.
And I want it to like do it for
Alright,
the
yeah,
entire time.
Yeah,
that you're
but if you
pressing
have it
this.
backwards, it won't light up.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
try turning it around
So
first. Unplug it and turn. Unplug it and turn it around. I'll be right with you, Scott. All right, what are you working on then?
Something like-
So
What-
you've
how,
changed
how
what
do
you're
we,
doing,
so
or
if it's correct if this is 0? Is that right?
Yeah, it's like completely accurate with the 0, but let's say you get it within like
Uh-huh.
0.5.
So I saw.
Okay. So
yeah, you're
what?
at 10 frames a second now.
If-
So
if
whatever you're
we're
doing
saying
is not
flip
working
it
very
correctly,
well.
you should be able to put a logic chop here,
Uh-huh.
and then the logic chop
Okay, so how are you
will
creating your mushrooms?
always
Do you
be
have
testing it.
20 mushrooms rendering at
Right.
once?
So wait. So this is.
Wait,
It's like a
where?
subtraction or something.
Are you
Yeah.
using instancing?
What's the correct
Yes.
spell, just so I better
Okay.
understand?
I can set it to like, say the correct spell. It's just it's sitting here.
Okay.
Oh,
So let's
Circles.
just put in a primitive, like put in a torus sop. You can leave the mushroom there and just disconnect it. Right, so yeah, put that in the transform instead. There we go. And now your frame rate has popped up to 33. But your computer is better than mine, and I'm sure mine would run faster than this. So there's something else that's wrong. But yeah, the mushroom probably has a lot of polygons. So the fewer the polygons, the better. Yeah, there is a.
Okay, so now we win as long as we just leave.
Yes.
Why is X? Okay, so the X is
there's
within
a something
acceptable.
or other.
boundary.
What's it called?
So
Reduce
So it's
full or
off,
something.
yeah.
Go into the SOPs.
Okay.
I might be able to recognize
if
it
you get it correct, this thing plays.
Add a
That's the
sop.
idea. Okay.
Yeah.
So what
let's
you should be able to
box bridge cache
do-
capture carve. Convert.
so you set that to
Delete, divide.
a logic
facet.
chop, and the logic chop tests the bounds. Then you would.
Poly reduce maybe.
Did you know what a logic chop is?
I feel like there was
No.
something else, but
So
Right. yeah.
Logic
let's
chop
do that, and now
would
click
be-
on the parameters on this. Heat 100%.
all
Change
the,
that
I mean,
down
logic does a few different things, but what pretty much everybody uses it for is it
I don't know.
tests
Try that now. Pass that into the
when
transform.
channel is within.
Now we're at 20 frames instead
So our
of 10
bounds,
frames,
you know,
right? Is that we're at 10 frames a second?
Yeah.
So that's helping.
Oh god, that's even
All right,
more
hold on. Let me
precise.
check in with Scott.
Negative point
All right, so what do you got?
0, 0, 1,
Yeah.
0, 0, 1.
You can see
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, that works. Yeah. But
So if I send a control change, you can see it's coming here.
okay, yeah. So we know it's sending it.
I'm not sure if it maybe the way that
Okay.
sends control change
0, 1.
Might be the way that we can actually. Right.
So,
well, is it on the
um,
right channel?
Yeah, so channel 46, which is
Then,
Control rate.
control change 46.
you run this guy
Oh, yeah.
through
Is it accidentally changing this tempo? Is that
No,
what's
that's just
changing?
run.
Okay.
That's just constant.
basically
if
you
it
want
changed,
you
what
want to
would
then
we see?
test if all
see
3 of
Right
these
out
are
there. See that?
triggered because that means you're correct.
Yeah,
right? Which I'm assuming
So,
is just like
It's
the
like
logic that
changing
you
this
use for this, but
somehow.
It's not changing
Uh-huh.
physical.
Um,
It's not
point
changing
is that
physical.
you then
Right,
use this
yeah,
thing
it's
to
not
test
motor.
if all
It's
these
not
are
motor.
correct,
But
and
if you change the
then
value,
what you
But
need
you'd
is
see
a
it flash.
yeah,
timer.
because if I send
And I don't know how this is working over here, but you
Right, right.
somehow set
And
the
if you-
length
are
up
you
to
able to
whatever the
send
length
out
is of
like,
your gesture.
Okay.
Okay?
Out of Ableton
And
into
then,
this, and you see it work on a
whenever you push that button, it
Mhm.
starts the timer.
Mhm.
Okay, and then
Oh, okay.
that's gonna give a what will be using the output active. Okay, so you're gonna want to run like for a fan if you're an export or something. So timer active. So timer active is good, and all
These
three
will
of these
monitor.
are good.
What I
Trigger
really
stop.
need
Well, no, because then that'll work at the
another way to
beginning.
monitor
So we want to
it,
make sure
right?
it's
So if timer
MIDI
equals done
monitoring and
and all these equal 1.
I could also
but then it's still in between.
I have Max, yeah.
I can just do it